There is a red button in front of you. Press it once, and $10 million appears in your bank account. But somewhere in the world, one random person dies. You will never meet them. No one will ever know. Do you press it? Lock in your first answer, but don't get comfortable with it. First, the rules. The victim is chosen only after you press. You can't warn anyone, investigate the machine, or choose who dies. The money is legal, tax-free, and impossible to trace back to you. The stranger is healthy, innocent, and would otherwise live a normal life. $10 million for you. One life, taken from somebody else. The case against pressing seems simple. This isn't finding money after a tragedy. Your action causes the tragedy. Pressing means deciding that a stranger's entire future is worth less than your new fortune. The victim never agreed to gamble their life against your comfort. If people have a right not to be used as tools, the button is forbidden, no matter what it pays. And yet, plenty of decent people would still hesitate. $10 million could erase your debts, secure your children's future, and rescue people you love. It could buy time, safety, medical care, education, and freedom from work you hate. Meanwhile, the victim is faceless, nameless, and unimaginably far away. Our moral instincts don't react to an anonymous statistic the way they react to a visible person. So, let's remove the distance. Her name is Maier. She's 34. She has a brother who calls every Sunday, a dog waiting by the door, and plans for next year. Nothing about the mathematics changed. But did your answer change? People often feel more compassion for one identifiable person than for an anonymous victim. That doesn't automatically make the emotional answer correct, but it exposes what the original framing hides. Distance makes moral choices feel cleaner than they are. The button also exploits another fault line. Doing harm feels worse than allowing harm. Imagine the $10 million is already yours, but refusing the button makes one stranger die. Many people who would never press to gain the money would still struggle to surrender it. Research calls this omission bias. We often judge harmful actions more harshly than equally harmful inaction. The outcome can be identical, while the story we tell about our responsibility completely changes. Now consider the strongest argument for pressing: consequences. Suppose you use the money to fund medicine, clean water, food, and shelter. If that money reliably saves several lives, refusing to press may cause more death than pressing. A strict consequentialist asks which choice creates the best overall result, not which choice keeps your hands clean. That defense becomes much weaker. A mansion and early retirement are not morally equivalent to preventing several avoidable deaths. So change the machine. You must donate every dollar, and the money will definitely save 5 lives. Do you press now? The problem has transformed from greed into a version of the trolley problem. One side says saving 5 is better than saving none. The other says you still intentionally kill one innocent person. Neither side gets to pretend the moral cost disappeared. Here's another test. What happens if everyone is permitted to press? Millions of people could privately trade unknown strangers for personal gain. The rule that enriches you once would create a world in which every person lives under an invisible threat. A choice can look profitable in isolation and still be disastrous as a rule for society. Now, slide the reward down. Would you press for $1 million? What about 100,000? 10,000? Enough to help, but not enough to change your life forever. If your answer changes at a particular amount, you've discovered the price you place on crossing the line. What if the random person could be someone you love? The probability is tiny, but suddenly the stranger isn't completely abstract. Would you accept the same bargain if your own name entered the lottery? A rule often feels different when the person making it must share the risk. The deepest question isn't what the button buys, it's who pressing it makes you. Even without witnesses or punishment, you'd know exactly where the money came from. The machine leaves no evidence, but it can't promise to erase your memory. My answer is no. I'd walk away from the original button. Not because $10 million has no power, and not because consequences don't matter. I'd refuse because deliberately converting a non-consenting person's life into my private wealth treats them as raw material for my future. The donation-only version is much harder. Saving 5 lives gives pressing a serious moral defense. Yet, in the real world, outcomes are rarely guaranteed, costs spread unpredictably, and people are very good at laundering self-interest through noble intentions. A society that forbids intentional killing for profit is safer than one that trusts everyone to decide when the calculation is worth it. Now argue your answer. Comment only 2 things: press or walk away, and the strongest reason for your choice. And if your answer depends on the amount, name the exact number that changes it. There is no safe seat in a good argument. Pick a side and argue that.